Hi everybody, it's Christopher and welcome to Life's Not Over, It Just Looks Different, the YouTube channel. On today's video, I want to talk about low vision aids, and specifically I want to share with you a few of the things that I've been using pretty much since the beginning, since about late 2005 or early 2006 when I started working with CNIB. Some of the low vision tools that I've been using to help me just manage day-to-day life and to be able to do things. One of the very first things that I was shown, and I've been using it really ever since, and I've actually been using the same strength, is a handheld magnifier. So this handheld magnifier happens to have a light in it that I can use, which comes in really handy when I am in a restaurant where it's dimly lit, well, pre-pandemic anyway, when I was in a restaurant. If I'm in a place that's dimly lit, like a restaurant, I can use the light on there that helps me read the menu and do that sort of thing. Although the one thing I learned from that experience is when you're in one of those dimly lit places, I kind of have to turn the light away so that it's not shooting across the table to the people over there and kind of getting in their eyes at all. But this has been really handy for me. Mine personally is 6 times magnification, but I've seen them anywhere, this particular brand and this maker, they do them anywhere from, I think the lowest is about 3 or 3.5 times, all the way up to 15 times magnification. With that 15 times magnification, the field of view in the magnifying glass itself gets really small, and so you don't get to see much at any one time, but at least for somebody who does need something that strong, it does exist. These aren't the kind of things you can find in the drugstore, usually in a department store, a dollar store, or in a drugstore. Usually won't find anything stronger than about 3 times. So these are kind of classed as a medical device that you have to get from a specialty center or like in my case, I got mine through CNIB. One of the other things that they showed me, which again I've been using right from pretty much from the beginning of the time that they showed me this device, was a monocular that I can use to read signage, read street signs, read signage along the road, or if I'm going into an area like a strip mall or one of these big box plazas and I'm not sure which shop is which, I can sort of pick a spot to stand safely, to look around and check out all the signs, and then I can kind of tune it in and see where it is that where I want to go and try to read the signs. Or like I said, if I'm out for a walk and I'm in a neighborhood that's not really familiar to me and I want to be able to read the street signs, that this comes in really handy for that as well. Funny story about this, well, this has happened to me more than once, but anytime that I've been using this and I've been trying to read signage on a building or something like that, if people are passing by me and they want to walk in front of me, I've had people stop because they think that this is some kind of small digital camera and that I'm taking a picture. So I've had people stop, or I've had people walk by me, and as they do, they say, "Hi, Mom," because again, they think it's a camera. One of the funniest moments with this, to me, I found it funny. I was actually visiting a friend in hospital, and while I was in the hospital, or while I was at the hospital, I was using my monocular to read the signage up, to know where to go and where to find the particular ward that my friend was in. So I was standing there and I was doing this and I'm reading the signage, and a security guard in the hospital came over to me and he's like, "Excuse me, sir, what is it you're doing there?" And I said, "Oh, well, this is a monocular and I'm vision impaired, so it helps me to be able to read the signage." And he's like, "Oh, okay, carry on then." I guess he too thought I was taking pictures or something. So it just makes me laugh when that kind of stuff happens. One of the other things that I haven't been using this from the beginning, I've only been using it since about 2012, I think that's when I got my first iPhone, is using some of the accessibility features that are built into this. And so in my iPhone, or in the iPhone, there's a magnifier built right in. It's awfully talkative today, we'll try to turn that off. But one of the things that's in here is a magnifier, and so I can use that to, we're going to turn that on again, there we go, So now I can use it, and I've just grabbed one of my books off my shelf here. Being a guy who survived a stroke, I thought this was really interesting, so I thought this book was pretty cool too, by Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor. She had a stroke, I had a stroke. Hers was different than mine. She actually had a brain bleed, whereas I had the loss of blood to a part of my brain, but hey, stroke is a stroke, so it was an interesting read. But enough about pitching her book for her. One of the things I can do with my phone now is I can actually use this to magnify it, and I've got this set quite high to 3.5 times magnification, but it helps me to be able to focus in and to be able to read on this. So whereas this magnifier comes in pretty handy to be able to do the same thing, the phone now, because it's got the magnifier built in, I can actually catch more of the field of view, and I can adjust the magnification, whereas my 6 times magnification is preset and I don't have any ability to change that. So the phone can actually help me do some things that the magnifier can't. And so I'm, to be completely honest, I think at some point the phone is going to take over, and I'm going to use it more for many of the things that I do in my day-to-day life, because there's many other apps and things out there that can help me out. And I talked a little bit about the technology in the iPhone already, but I'm going to talk more about some of the apps that I use in another video. But for right now, being able to use it as a magnifier, so if I ever forget my handheld one at home, or I don't happen to be carrying it with me that day because I have left my shoulder bag at home, I'm almost always carrying my phone. So when this little handheld magnifier, this little 6 times one, if I break this one, I may not bother to replace it because the phone can do it all now, and so I don't really need to carry both devices nearly as much as I used to. That is my thought on low vision devices for today. Like I said, in a future video, I am going to talk about some of the apps and things that I use on the phone, and I'm going to get into a little more detail on some of the apps that are out there that are really handy for people with sight loss like myself. But I'm going to leave it there for today, and I want to thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.